Hello. Hi. Welcome to my podcast. Welcome to the life of Sadie Nichole. I'm Sadie Nichole, and this is my squeaky chair. I like my squeaky chair. I don't know if this is like too bright or not bright enough. Even my chair has a character. It has a life of its own. It does its own thing. All right. So if you're just now tuning into this is my podcast. It's about a lot of things. My thoughts, my life, my thoughts on my life, my thoughts on life in general. And hopefully the sound is working better. So welcome to my podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I've adjusted some things so that this would go just a little bit less, I don't know, I'm just making adjustments. In the military, we called it AAR, After Action Review, which means, after doing the actions in the mission, then going over, okay, what did we do? What did we need to do? Did we actually accomplish it? And is there any changes that could be made to make it better or smoother the next time around? So I did AAR on my own podcast to see what I could improve on. It's kind of the premise of my whole life story, and documenting it is how can I improve for the next time that I do something, even for the next day, how can I improve my own responses to life, interactions in life, how can I improve that the next day, self-journey kind of thing. Thank you for tuning in. We are live on, Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube for now. We may be live on other platforms in the future, but for now, that's where we are live. And this will be on Spotify, but they don't have a live. I already looked into it or whatever, but it's not live on Spotify, but it will be available probably by Monday. And if you want to look that up on Spotify, it's The Life of Sadie Nichole. If you'd like to find me elsewhere on the internet, I'm abouts on the interwebs. But I do have an Instagram. I'm not on there very much anymore. I've really migrated over to my server because it does all the things that Instagram does for the most part. For me, plus more, because I do more. But I definitely have plenty of content on Instagram, mostly in my reels. My reels are kind of a taste of my life story, at least thus far, and kind of documenting my journey. I'm also on Truth Social. I'm on there all the time. And yeah, I'm on there all the time. So I'm on there pretty much every day. Because I like to keep track of what's going on in the world, in my country. I love my country, and I want to know, I want to be like checking its health, taking its temperature, like I do with my children, or like with myself, or like with my little furry child Breaker. I like to make sure what's going on. But yeah, those links for those sites that I am located are in the description below. So you can find those there. If you are tuning in and you enjoy this, or if you've tuned in before and you like my podcast, go ahead and hit the like and follow button, subscribe button. For those on Twitch, subscribing automatically gets you access to more of my server. My server is broken down into different memberships, because it's just like it's my mind. Like I've created my server to be my mind, and so different memberships get different access to my mind. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm always releasing new content, and I have more content to come. I'm working pretty hard on new stuff. I've been working on this for a long time, but finally I'm at the point where I'm releasing content, and I will be releasing more content in the future. So turn on the notification bell so that you know when I'm releasing more content, or else you're gonna come back later and be like, "Whoa, where did all this come from?" Because I'm doing some things, and in the future, in the very near future, I will be doing things spontaneously, because that's kind of just how I am. Like I said about my Instagram, it's kind of a taste of kind of how I spontaneously create content off the seat of my pants. It's just what I do. I don't know. I'm not sorry. Anyway, so today I went to the I love my sweetie chair. Today I went to, maybe this is a little too bright. So I went to the farmer's market today, and it was so awesome. I love supporting local and small businesses. I love it because it's real people, and people from my community, and I love it. I even I didn't run them over, but I saw them, and I slowed my car down so that they could pass. But they were my neighbors, but they didn't see me. But they were my actual neighbors. Like, hey, I know who they are. And so it was cool. It's cool to see people that you know at the farmer's market. I don't know if, maybe not everybody likes farmer's market, but I love the farmer's market. I love all of the fresh food and the fresh flowers and the live music. They even have bunnies. So that's always fun, like holding little bunnies. And the things that I use, like for my hair, for my skin, or whatever, like I get, plant derived products, and I get those from hopefully from local plants, you know. I don't know. The thing is, it's small businesses, you know, and America is made up of small businesses and small business owners, and that's 99% of businesses in America are small businesses. So, you know, that is community, and I'm very supportive of that. I'm supportive of the American dream, and somebody's small business is essentially, usually 9 times out of 10, you know, part of their American dream. And I love that, you know, it's them doing what they love and living their life and sharing that art form with others. Also like local restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah. Food made right there, right in front of you. It's like so cool. So yeah, I went to the farmer's market today. That was so cool. I really enjoy that. I usually on Saturdays do adventures. That's how I have like organized my life. Because I want to like do all of the things that I want to do, because that's part of my American dream, is to do all the things that I like to do and try to like fit them into like 24 hours, or like fit them into 7 days a week. So Saturdays are my adventure days with my family, and I go to different places. Also the car show. Went to the car show. It was so cool. It was like a car meet. It's not like a car show, but it's a car meet. It happens every week on Saturday. And so I got to see some really awesome hot rods. And because like once upon a time, when I was in school, I was in high school, and I was part of the drag racing team. And so I helped build cars. Like I hung out with the grease monkeys and gearheads and built muscle cars for the drag racing, obviously trying to get a 10-second car. Obviously, it's like the goal, right? It's like to get as fast as you can. So yeah, and so I really like that. My son really loves cars, and so I'm like, yes, let's go to a car meet. I got to see one of my favorite cars is a 1957 Chevy Bel Air, and they had one there, and it's red. Oh, it was like it was so great. It wasn't a supercharged engine or anything like that, but still, it was still super rad. And yeah. So yeah, they just, I love car meets. Plus, they offer free donuts, and that's always great because then I don't have to cook breakfast. So that's what I did. And this is a podcast about my life. So that's what I did in my life today. Oh my gosh, I'm done studying. Okay, so hopefully I got a good grade on that, by the way. And because I'm in college right now, working on my master's degree in cybersecurity, and so far so good. But I have like a bunch of days off now. Like I have like a week off from studying, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with myself? Whenever I have a break from studying, I'm like, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. But I'm like really excited about that. So I got to go into my adventure day. Like I don't have to study for like a lot of days. Like I'm going to be able to do whatever other extra things that I want to do, which I do love studying, but to not study for a little while is like, whoa, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to paint? Or am I going to, I don't know what I want to do. Yeah. So today, this particular episode, I wanted to focus on a topic and kind of just like dance. I want to dance, okay, around the topic. I The reason why I'm choosing the word dance here is because I once upon a time was a dancer. Once upon a time, I was a ballroom dancer. I did a little bit of ballet, but mostly ballroom dancing. So, and I performed like all over the town, the cities nearby, and yeah. So I really like dancing. So I want to dance like the waltz. Just dance around the subject, and the subject is let's see here. I'm trying new things here. Pretty cool, huh? Expansion. So I'm always going to kind of dance around like the American dream. I'm raising it from the dead. And I'm always going to be dancing around like I'm always going to come back to that, to the American dream, why it's important. Um my opinion of why it's important, but also just like why I think it's important for everyone, and then why everyone else should also think this is extremely important. And yeah. So talking about small businesses with like the farmers market and all of those people and their small businesses, and how they're all just so unique and amazing. Like I could just name off a crap load of them, but like some of them are making food, and some of them are growing food, and some of them are actually creating like arts and crafts. Like some of them are made of wood, and some of them are made of clay, and it's all art. You know, even gardening to me is art. But these small businesses, when I look at a small business, when I go up to a person, I go up to their little display, right? And I'm like, "Hi, I'm Sadie." But when I look at their little display, it's like I'm seeing them, because a small business is essentially an expansion of that person. And so I'd be very compassionate and very like kind and compassionate towards the business and towards the product, right? Because that product and that business and even the display is an extension of that person. And so I wouldn't like run up to the person and just like start picking out the flaws and like judging it and just like, you know, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't do that to a person, and so I'm not going to do that to their business either, you know? Um so that's kind of like I don't know that because I see that with my own self, right? So I see with my own ideas that I want to do, and that I've come to through just experiences. And I think, and I talked about this before in another podcast, like seeing the pain or of whatever it is, and oh, this is the pain, so then create the remedy, and like then that's like a market, like that's like a niche, like that's, you know, something like. But even to think that way, and in whatever direction to think that way, I just, to me, it's like it's an expansion of how I think. Then that's just how I view the world, that's how I view people. So I've seen with the development of my own ideas, my own art, and my own you know, small business ideas and endeavors, it's actually just an extension of myself, right? And the more that I understand that, the more, like, even my art is an extension of myself, right? Like like my photography. Well, you know, I didn't go to photography school. Like I've never taken a photography class, but I just like really wanted to capture the moment in these different moments, especially with like plants or like flowers or like nature, because I, you know, grew up in nature. So, because I did, I grew up in the wilderness or very close to the wilderness, you know. It's like limited resources, limited access to civilization, right? Or society. We're very, very, very far away from society. And so nature is just kind of like, it's my roots. Um, but I guess what I realized about myself through my like photography is that I myself then in life, I look for the beauty, because in my photography, that's what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking in life for, oh, there's beauty. I've got to capture it, you know? So like I do that with like my photography is like a lot of like flowers, and not just flowers, but like how they're sitting, you know, or how they're placed or how they're lit up. And they're lit up with the sun is the greatest lighting. Like nobody can top the lighting of the sun. The lighting of the sun is the greatest lighting that there is. And it makes everything look amazing, especially flowers and water and everything. So that's my, yeah. So, you know, and it's like literally I'll be driving, just driving down the road and just like, holy, like hit the brakes, pull over, get out, run to what I'm looking at. And it's like pretty far away, but when I get closer to it, it's like it gets huge, right? And then I want to capture that. And that's my photography, is that I see beauty from far away and I want to stop what I'm doing and run to it and give it attention, because it deserves that. And the thing is, that's beautiful and kind of sad, and yeah, a little bit tragic, is that, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I can take a bunch of pictures of it. I can walk away, and in 10 minutes, something might happen. A freak hailstorm or something comes. And I walk back over to that to be like, maybe I just want a couple more pictures. It's gone. It's dead. Maybe a dog came and just like ripped it out, like ate it, right? Or something like that. So to me, my photography itself is an expansion of me and my personality, or like my character, in that I stop what I'm doing to take the time, to take the moment to smell the flowers, right? Or to capture the beauty that's right there that may be gone soon. So in realizing kind of like, if I'm like that with like photographing or whatever, it, you know what I mean? Am I going to do that with everything that I create? Like, is everything that I create an extension of myself? You know? And I, based on my observations of myself and just kind of observations of the human condition, like it seems as though we create. That's just like what we do. Like we build stuff, we think of stuff, we fix stuff, and we create stuff, you know. And even I would go so far as to say procreation, and it's even without necessarily so much thought, necessarily. I mean, not all the time, but sometimes. It's also an extension. So we're like extending ourselves or expanding ourselves. I'm sorry. We're expanding ourselves. And with this expansion of self, then I can't help but step back and be like, what else expands? Right? Like, and keeps expanding, like anything that's alive, but also like the universe. And scientists that are looking out, into the stars and into the universe and into space, it is constantly expanding. And so we are also part of the same universe, and we ourselves keep expanding. So this is the topic I just want to dance around because I really enjoy it. So then I continue on. I continue on my journey. I continue on my path. And I get to the point of, okay, my chokers, right? Like, I want to create. I got really tired of, like, I would buy a necklace and I would really like it and then it would break. I would buy a necklace and I would really like it, but it would like itch. Right? Like, come on. And then I would get a necklace and I would really like it, but it would like poke me, right? Or it would pull on my whatever I was wearing, or and I got tired of being tired of that. So I decided to create something that won't do all those things. I created one variation of it. It was all right. Created another variation of it. It was still, it was okay. And then it took me actually a while, and I would sketch out different ideas and I would look at different materials and stuff. And I'm like, no. And then finally I came up with the idea, a rough idea, and I sketched it out and then I tried it. And then I was like, and then I like zeroed in on the materials and then I got it. And it turned out exactly how I wanted and what I was looking for. And mind you, I don't just go like, oh, I'm just going to create it right now. Like, no, I call me lazy if you want, but I go and like look for it. Like, if I can skip the process of me having to create it, I'll do that. Right. Just like, did somebody else do this already? Okay. Cause I just need to like find it so that I can buy it because I don't want to do this myself. Right. But I couldn't. So I made it myself. And then after creating that, then I'm like, this is also an expansion of me. It's an extension of me, but it's an expansion of me, of my personality, or like of my character. And that is that, like, I'm durable. I'm practical. And I'm comfortable. Right? Right? It has to be, right? And so then I'm like, okay. Continue on my path and my journey. I start this painting journey and I start painting. And I've been looking back because I still have all my paintings, but I'm like looking back at all my paintings. I'm like, man, it reminds me of this conversation that I had. So this conversation that I had with somebody once upon a time when I was just a teenager, I think. And they said, what the heck, Sadie? Like, you're black or you're white? Like, where's the gray? Like, they're all or nothing. Like, there's no in between. Like, so I'm like looking at my paintings and I remember when that was said and I'm like, that's not true, is it? All right. I don't know because I'm not looking from the outside, looking at myself. I try, right, but I'm not. So, I'll keep that in mind. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't know, and I didn't know, and I still kind of don't. But I'm looking at my paintings and it kind of resembles the same thing. Like it's like all dark or all light. I don't really have an in between yet. And I don't know how to get there. I think that's called balance. I hope that's called balance. I'll shoot for that. That's what I'll aim for. But I don't know that I have arrived yet. Yeah, so I'm looking at my photography, I'm looking at my chokers, I'm looking at my paintings, and I'm like, so these are expansions of myself. But these are kind of things that I'm doing like in my pastime, right? Like this is like in my in-between time while I'm doing stuff. You know, like I'm living my life, I'm creating things, I'm building stuff. Oh my gosh. Take pictures of freaking this beautiful that I just saw. Okay, go back to what I was doing. I'm building stuff, I'm creating stuff, I'm doing my thing. It's like, I have no choker, no necklace that matches this shirt or this dress. Okay, let me make it. Right? So, like, I make it and then I put it on, like, okay, we're good to go. Keep moving. I'm building stuff, I'm creating stuff, I'm doing stuff. And it's like, all right, I need to take a break. I feel like painting, like paint, right? So these things that I'm creating are like extra, like they're in my extra time or my in between time. Like, oh, it's my drink a cup of coffee time. You know what? I also need to build this choker. Is like build a choker and drink coffee at the same time. So it's like in my in between. But because I'm thinking small business, my small business idea is like that's the expansion of myself. But then when I get done building the foundational setting of my original small business idea, and then I'm like, okay, now what? Like, oh, I need artists to like for this to function, right? So it's like having a calculator, right? A calculator is like a program, right? So or having a thing, like a system. So it's like, oh, I have this calculator system, but I have no like equations to use it, you know, like to actually use the calculator, the functions of the calculator to do its thing. Okay, I need to figure out, like, I need to find like a math problem or something, like, so then I can use this thing, right? So I became the math problem. I became the equation. I became the artist because I realized that all these things that I'm creating in my pastime, just because I'm an artist and I like expressing myself and like doing these things, like, oh, I can use what I created, my system to, and I'll be the guinea pig, right? And I'll do that. And that right there, even that right there is an expansion of myself. But like into the public view, right? Because I do that in life actually. I am the guinea pig for my own ideas. Because like I mean, I'm not a mad scientist. Come on. I'm a happy scientist. So I I have ideas and I test them out on myself to see if they function, if they work. Like my chokers. Like I don't need to build a choker for somebody else. Like I build it for myself to use and like make sure that it actually does what I want it to do. And like if it doesn't, then it's like back to the drawing board, right? And same thing with everything else that I create. But I guess I just did not see, for whatever reason, I didn't see myself as an artist. Even though I've done many arts, right? I used to play instruments, right? I used to play music. I used to be in choir, right? For like years. Like I was a dancer and I was a singer and I was played instruments and music and I was in orchestra and I did performances and I was in musical theater, right? And like I did like, so all these arts, but I never considered myself an artist. I don't know why. Maybe because I didn't actually create those things. I didn't create the instrument, so that must mean I'm not an artist or something. I didn't create the music that I was, so I must not be I don't know why I thought that way. But now I'm understanding that I'm an artist. And it's cool. So I'm like using what I've created for my own self as the demonstration. So it's cool. It's like it's a multi-level, multi-dimensional, multi-realm, multifaceted expansion of myself. So then it shows me when I'm looking at it as a reflection, like looking in the mirror. When I'm looking at it, I can see myself better, and I'm like, well, I'm a multifaceted being, because this is like a extremely intricate kind of like put together thing. So that must also be me. That means I'm complex. Like, really? Great. Oh, that's wonderful. Great news. So anyway, so then with my business, with my ideas of the machine, the system that I've created, which I've also moved on to creating a completely different system as well. And so I created the prototype for that. And I've created a mock beta version using what already exists. So pretty much I've already created 3 systems at this point. I guess I like creating systems. Maybe. Good thing I'm going to school for computer science. I love computer science. I do. Okay. So that's what I have here is like expansion of self. Small business is an expansion of self, an expression of self, and it represents self. And so in the journey of just each human being, but especially like an American, right? American human that is just growing. And we're growing from our individual self, which would be like a seed, right? We're growing from our seed self and we're expanding and becoming like a tree. Or, we are expanding ourselves. So then supporting the American dream is supporting people's growth, their self-growth, self-expression, and self-representation. And I think that's really important. Like, I do that with my friends. I do that with people I love. And I do that with my children. Like, I support the people that I love expanding and growing and expressing themselves and representing their own self. Like, represent, like, with my fashion. Like, they represent their character with their fashion. Like, then their small business is like their fashion, right? Like, it's an expression of themselves. And it's beautiful, right? And I think that's just like so important. So just like on a very touchy-feely, very like heartfelt perspective of the American dream, I think it's fair to reach that. I think it's fair to look at the American dream in such a heartfelt way. I think so. I think it's good. I think it's healthy. I think it's human. I think it's connected. And I think that's exactly what we need. Connection, right? And our most human self needs connection. And that is science. That is scientific fact. They did a scientific study with babies. They had two rooms. I think I talked about this before, but they had hold on a second. Okay. They had 2 rooms, one with babies, or both of them with babies, right? But one was with babies that were like, they had all their needs met and they were nurtured and cared for, with like food, like nutrition, like all the things that they need, like everything they need to be a healthy baby, they were given, except for human connection, like, or human touch. So it was through like gloves, or like, not like, you know what I mean? Like, not actual human touch and human connection. And then they had the room with the babies that had all their needs met and everything for them to be a healthy baby, and plus normal human connection, human touch. And all the babies in the room without the human touch, all of them died. And all the babies in the room that had also human touch and human connection, they all lived. So we need connection. We need it as human beings. Like, that is how we are engineered. Just the way that it is. And I think about that. I think about like dolphins. Okay? I think about how dolphins, when they are swimming and stuff, do they call it swimming? Or do they just call it, like, we call it swimming because we live on land and they live in the water, and like we call it swimming, like, but would they call it swimming? Or do they just call it like moving around? Like, I'm just going from here to there. I'm wiggling, right? Do they call it wiggling? I don't know. But anyway, when they wiggle in the water, they touch each other as comfort and as communication. And there are many other animals also in nature that they do the same thing. Animal connection and the touch helps them communicate, not just through sound. So, and I think we're kind of like missing the boat on that. Maybe that's why the American dream has kind of withered, because it hasn't gotten the love and care and attention and connection that it really needed. And maybe that starts with our heart and having a heartfelt view on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. It's worth discussing in this podcast, though. Yeah, I think so. So, not only is small business that way about like expansion, but also a home. A home is the same. It's an expansion. It's an expression. It's a representation. How the home is maintained, manicured, the decor on the inside, everything, whether it's comfortable, not comfortable, whether it's, it is the self. It is the expansion and the expression of the self, no matter how big or small. Honestly, from my perspective, looking at that specifically, it looks like the mind and the room, the bedroom, being the subconscious mind, and the rest of the house being the conscious mind, and the many corridors and all of that. And perhaps we make our conscious mind uncomfortable on purpose. We don't want our conscious mind, which is what we present to the world. Maybe we don't want our conscious mind to be comfortable. We don't want anybody to get comfortable and stick around, right? Or maybe we want it to be comfortable. And that, if that is an expression, representation, and expansion of our own self, it's a reflection. It's a mirror, of our own how we view ourselves, how we view the world, and how we want ourselves to be represented to the world. Same thing with our company, our small business, our company, how it is us. So if it is minimal and hard to access and all that stuff, like maybe that's how our conscious mind, how we want to present ourselves to the world. So that's why I'm I'm kind of cautious, but I'm mostly just like compassionate and just like compassionate, empathic, and just very like observe more more compassion and more gentleness when approaching someone's business, because that is themselves, but it just expanded. And I don't want to step on anybody's foot, right? Like, oh, sorry, like, oh, let me bump into you on purpose on accident or something, like, oh, let me just be careless. Like, nah, I'd be very like, like I'm walking into somebody, right? Like, ooh, hi, but I think maybe also if we can perceive it like that and perceive the American dream in such a way, and each person's individual American dream in such a way, if we could apply that type of compassion and patience and gentleness, then that's more of a nurturing environment for something to grow, rather than trying to pluck the petals off of it because the petals aren't perfect or something. So and I also put on here, like, so with a home or with a small business, is like, as a reflection, it's how do we also want to interact with our own self. It is such a representation of our own self appreciation or self-love, because we need to love ourselves, right? We need to see our own beauty and love our own beauty. And how I put it is, love is within us. Love to me is an actual living being. So if love is within us, then that means it can use our vessel, our tool, to show us itself, which is love. But if we don't let it, then how are we going to know? So it's us allowing love through us to love us. Right? It also goes to show, to me, that we are, like I was saying before, like, we're built to create, we're built to build and create things. Even without even thinking about it, we're still creating stuff. So even creating solutions. I would say, oh, I'm a good fixer, but really I'm a good solutioner. But I am really creating a solution. I'm creating a new thing to remedy the situation. So in that respect of being creators, or yeah, I think we're creators. That's what we do. That's what we always do. Like, that's what we do as human beings. And so what would we naturally, kind of like with children, like starting, because a child is just like a little mini human. Like it's like level 1, they just arrived, like, but they're like, but they did the same thing, they recreate what they see, and they recreate themselves. I'll give an example. They don't just want a doll. They want a doll that looks just like them. And they're going to treat that doll the same way that they were treated. So they recreate the same exact thing. They replicate it. Or in another case, like, they don't just want a car. They want a car that they feel is like them as a car, right? Recreating self to interact with self. I'm recreating myself so that I can interact with it. I am recreating myself, bringing it to life so that I can interact with it. And I wonder where that originates from. So in that realm of thought of like, we are created to create and build, which is create, then we are artists. Everyone is an artist. And that's just how I see it. So as creators and artists, supporting the American dream is not just supporting small businesses. It's also supporting artists. In fact, it's primarily supporting artists, because if we are all creators, which is another word for an artist, right? An artist is another word for a creator. Like, then supporting the American dream is supporting artists. And that is a beautiful thing. And that is necessary. And the reason why I say that about artists and why that's necessary is because the greatest innovations that we have came from artists, right? The costume creators, the writers, storytellers, camera people, the movie makers, the directors, the actors, all of that, all those people create one movie. Okay? Very entertaining. Wonderful. Amazing artwork. From that one movie, other people are looking at that going, I think I could create that in real life. See how that door does that? Like when they walk right up to it and it just goes bzz, bzz. I think I could create that. Like I have this. I know how to this, and I can engineer this, and I can create that. Or, oh, that sword thingy that has a light that turns into a sword. Like, if I do this, and I have this, and I use this, and I use this, and I get that, and I put that together, and I could probably create that. And so on and so forth. So then, from that one storytelling, entertaining work of art, using with many artists, some of the greatest technological advancement in our human history has come about and become historical, become huge society changing things. So supporting artists, to me, it's that's how we're going to move into the future. That's how we're going to move forward. It was artists that helped us move forward to this point, because they just came up with with the idea and wrote it down, and then they took it like they were having fun. And from their having fun, it inspired other people that have a different art form, which is like engineering, using different tools and stuff, to have fun in their art form to create the greatest innovations of our time. It's extremely important. So, supporting the American dream supporting artists is supporting our future. It's supporting our potential. It's helping grow our potential. And it's going to take more than just a handful. It took more than a handful of people to make a movie. And it took more than a handful of people to create technology that was replicating the ideas that came from the movie that took more than a handful of people. So that right there, that's a lot of people. And that's a lot of opportunity. Jobs, gigs, there's a lot of freelance, independent contracting jobs, right? Which, when you think about the American dream, you think about, jobs and stuff like that too. So supporting the American dream supports our future, our innovations, our artists, and our economy. It helps our economy grow, especially because we're capitalists, and only capitalism makes any of this possible. Any of it. Making movies, have an idea, engineering it, creating it, and then all of a sudden it's just like, it explodes to be this amazing innovation. That's all the free market. That's all capitalism. Artists coming up with an idea and wanting to get other artists to get together and create a movie and all that stuff. That's the free market. That's capitalism. That's not even possible without capitalism. To be able to get your own money and get it all funded and, collaborate with this theater and all that stuff. It's all capitalism. And this is why capitalism is very important. And it's beautiful. It's a blessing. In fact, capitalism is so awesome that it can make a nation so powerful that it can help every other nation on an entire planet. That's how powerful and blessed capitalism is. It's abundant. So supporting the American dream, supporting capitalism, is supporting abundance too. This is why I think everyone is an artist. I just now that I've accepted that I myself am an artist. I mean, because I always saw everyone else as an artist, but I didn't see myself as an artist. But now I'm like, oh, huh? Oh, okay, whatever. I didn't. Well, then now I can look in the mirror and be like, I'm an artist. And actually, I do sometimes when I talk to people. I'm like, I'm an artist. It's like, it feels good. It feels good in my heart. The journey of self. The journey of self is extremely important. I think I want to start there next time. Should I, or should I keep going? Should I keep going? So I guess this is where it will be. The journey of self is very important. I think it's important because the journey of self leads to the expansion of self. And the expansion of self leads to small businesses being created, art being created, innovation being created, and us all together moving forward into this beautiful and bright future. And I mean, that's what I want. That's what I want for myself, but that's what I want for my children. And I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but that's how I feel about it. So I think the most important thing that I can do is be on my journey of self so that I can expand, so that I don't stay just a seed forever. Yeah. I think that's all I have for for today. Thank you for listening. I think I said I don't get tired of saying or talking about the American dream. It's one of my favorite things. I heard somebody say that the American dream is dead. I heard them say that today, and I was like, no, right? I feel very passionate about it. I do. But thank you for being here. If you're just tuning in, this is the life of Sadie Nichole, and I am Sadie Nichole, and I'm live here on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch on Saturday evenings, pretty late at night, and I'm on Pacific time. If you would like to talk to me or ask me questions or find out what I'm up to, go ahead and find my Discord server. The link is in the description. Accept the invite and you will arrive in my universe, which I've created. If you have a Substack or Medium, you can find my blog there and subscribe. It's The Life of Sadie Nichole. Rest day is coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's rest day. Rest day is very important. It's very important to keep going. Rest is very important to keep going, to stay healthy and everything like that. So if you enjoyed my show, be sure to subscribe, follow, show some love in the comment section below. Also, I just finished creating some really rad merch, and it's available now. So you can go ahead and score some merch if you'd like, and hang out with me on rest day tomorrow, or just on Sunday evenings, pretty late, for my gaming sesh. I'll start new gaming sessions later in the fall, but I game pretty much on Sunday evenings. It's how I relax. So hang out with me tomorrow, rest day for my gaming, and I'll be live here again on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and may all of your dreams come true. Tune in next time for another episode of The Life of Sadie Nichole podcast.